This is no longer our battle. I tried fighting you. It can't be done.
Could you really rest for all of eternity, knowing that you had the chance to stop him, but did nothing?
Hello everybody, this is Snarist, and welcome back to my Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, no upgrade run. This is part 5, the Outcasts. And now we're following along with Hirgon, or Hirgon, however you pronounce it. And his missions, even though there's only a couple of them, are amongst my least favourite, because they feel a lot longer than they last, and I'm looking at the timer now, and I probably should have cut these sort of walking sequences out, because it would have saved at least a few minutes on the total mission time. But I still wanted at least to be honest about how long this is going to take, because this isn't like one of these 6 to 10 hour games where it's mostly just walking and talking. No, there's plenty of gameplay, and now that I'm playing on PC, because this is what this is on, the load times are extremely fast and everything runs real smoothly. And I almost feel sorry that I'm only focusing on story and doing a no upgrade run instead of going through collecting all the achievements and stuff. Because this game definitely deserves a lot of attention, and I feel a little bit bad that this is all I wanted to do before uninstalling the game and moving on. But I honestly don't know what else I could do to make the game functional without bugging out on me, or without being pretty much damn near impossible, while also still being a challenge. Because I tried to do a Shadow of War run not too long ago, earlier this year, or actually no, it was earlier last year, when I was first coming to Australia and getting settled in. I made sure I had Shadow of War installed, and yeah, I got for the first act alright, but then when it came to the second act and I had to start recruiting different captains and stuff, because there's so many different complications with it, and brutal difficulty is basically Grave Walker, except you do more damage to them as well, meaning it's all balanced. There's just so many instances where there are more captains than there are in this game per area. So the problem with having an area that's not any bigger, or it's a little bit smaller than these, is you always run into captains, and if you're running into a captain that you're fighting and trying to recruit, well, you end up running to 2 or 3 other captains that stumble across you, and it just becomes too much. And so I quickly gave up on that whole idea of doing a challenge run. And I think I should mention as well that when it comes to the future of not just the channel of Snarist or the channel of the Better Era Gaming, which I'm doing, which is rather ironic calling it the Better Era when I'm only using it to review newer games that come out, and I think for the most part newer games are bullshit, and people are not going to see the irony in how I've named it. But, I don't know if it would be through Snarist or the Better Era Gaming. I think it would probably have to be through the Better Era, but the more time that passes, the more I just consider starting streaming. Because if I want to start, I better start now, or at least soon. Because the more time that passes by, the more likely I am to gain a little bit of a following. But I should never expect immediate results, because I'm not built for immediate results. I'm someone that has to slowly cook over time. And I don't mind doing that, but the general fear I find in streaming is just the lack of job security, and the fact that it's very new to me. Like, I do very labour-intensive jobs, and so when I get home from work, all I want to do is just chill out and relax, and even this is unusual for me still, doing commentary, but I still find it rather relaxing. And so what ends up happening is, I think, on the weekend I got plenty of time, and I'm usually by myself, so I could always just do a bit of streaming, but, I'd have to pick the game very carefully. Like, even if it's just, this is the game I'm playing next and doing a challenge run for, stop by and see me put it all together, see the rough, unedited version of me playing the game, and then you'll get to see the edited versions later or on my other channel. But if I did have to start streaming, I would probably do it either through YouTube and Kick, although I'd probably be a lot better off doing it on Kick, because I might say the wrong thing. Like, even on these YouTube videos, the only grace I have about saying some of the messed up things I've said and not being flagged as hate speech is because it has no attention to it. So, yeah, I mean, some of my videos have been doing pretty well so far, or at least for a beginner channel goes. A lot of them still aren't doing super great, and that's to be expected. And another one of my main concerns is that, you know, if I want to like guarantee like a strong growth in being a streamer, I need to start early. And I need to just keep going constantly with it, but I can't do that if I have no money and no job security. So I'm taking a hell of a risk, and I just can't do that. So one of these days I'd like to start. But even now, my mic quality, I don't know how good it sounds. I think it sounds alright. But I know other people's videos, when I listen to them, they do really well as well with their mic quality. But, you know, a lot of it does boil down to the fact that I don't really like my own voice being heard back in a recording. I'm getting more used to the idea of it, so it's not as bad as it used to be. My anxiety isn't quite there, but you know, I tried Audacity, but the files that I end up getting my commentary put in don't match Audacity, and I don't want to go out of my way to keep adjusting my audio files for recordings and you know, for commentary and just changing it. You know, I could always just copy the files themselves and make a different copy in a different format. But at the same time, I don't know if it would be compatible with the video editor I have, and if it does, and I get it all converted to MP4 anyway. You know, I think about it more and more, and I keep wondering, is it just because I'm a new channel and I've only been going for a month and a half or so, and, you know, I still yet to get any momentum? Am I doing the wrong thing for the videos that I'm making? You know, what's going on here? Is my mic going to be good enough, and is it ever going to be good enough? And I think so. But I think it also just boils down to the fact that when it comes to commentary and when it comes to gathering my thoughts and speaking about certain subject matters or talking about games, I work better, ironically, by bouncing off of people. I prefer to do things on my own, but, you know, I've got to edit all this stuff together on my own, and I've got to bounce off of other people. I work better when bouncing off of other people, you know, because when they say something and then I follow up with something else, or, you know, it's just how I am. I work much better providing interesting commentary when I'm doing it with other people and talking to them, because I generally speak quite passionately about the things that I like, and, you know, I have a pretty commanding voice and presence whenever I can help it. But when I'm on my own and talking to myself like this, it gets a little bit much sometimes, because I'm used to talking to myself, but in a way where I'm always tripping over my own words and I'm not speaking out loud. So this is definitely a strange feeling for me. But, you know, never say never about streaming. And if I had to start on any game, it would probably be that God of War trilogy remake, which could be a year or two away. I'd probably do it a lot sooner, but I just need to work something out, and I need to find my courage, because I will do it eventually. I just got to make sure that, you know, people are okay with the level of quality that I'm going for. But I've always found the problem is that my PS5 offset delay is always getting in the way of things, and I hate that. And I've been seeing all these different things that people have been using to fix their problems, you know, like you know, setting the offset to negative 3.33 seconds, and that works for them. But, you know, I've tried before and it doesn't work, because if you do too much of an offset delay, you know, to guarantee that it's not going to, you know, have an audio delay, sometimes it does it too much and you completely fuck up the file. And I have no idea who to trust, really. So I just need to find a weekend where I've got plenty of walkthroughs ready for you guys, and I can fall back on it. And speaking of plenty of you guys to have walkthroughs to fall back on, I don't know when exactly, but it'll either be at the end of March or around mid-April. I'm going to be going back overseas to see family again, and so I'm going to be gone for maybe a week to a couple of weeks. So it's going to be potentially like 10 to 14 or so videos you're going to miss out on. So because everything's on my PC and I can't move my PC over there, what's going to end up happening is I'll probably either upload a bunch of videos before I go, like more than 2 a day, or I'll make sure to upload like 3 a day every day when I come back, or even 4 a day, just to catch back up with things. So instead of 2 videos, you know, every couple of weeks, you'll get 1 week where I have like 3 or 4 videos uploaded every single day. And, you know, just get all caught back up. And I think that's more than fair. But I'll put a pin in that for now, because we're coming up to the end of the chapter, and I'll just say this. What you want to do is you want to take out as many of the archers as you can around this area where the grog barrels are. And you want to stick as far to the left as you can and target these barrels down on the ground first, because the one near the bridge or under the bridge, there's always the odd orc here and there, and it's very tricky. Plus, if you move too far away from a certain section, an orc will spawn in, and the moment you touch one of those grog barrels and put the poison in there, you need to move away immediately, because you'll have at least a few orcs that already go and start drinking out of that grog barrel, and a lot of the times they'll spawn in randomly. So you need to make sure that you pay attention to your map to see where those red triangles pop up, and then you need to move in the opposite direction. Thankfully the stealth is pretty easy in this game because the orcs have a really hard time spotting you on time, and even if they do spot you, you've got like a second or two before you can just, before you can stab them, before they spot you and you can't stab them. But if they're alone and isolated, then they won't be able to trigger any alarm without you killing them, and no one else will be able to hear them, thankfully. You can go into stealth mode right now and attract them towards your position, or you pull out the bow and use the range mode, and you can hit triangle to attract them to certain points of the map, so you can move them away, and it's got a decent range on it too. So yeah, just sort of make your way around. Poisoning the grog barrels gets easier the further in you go, and that's more or less the same thing. It's just a very slow mission, and I'll see you guys in the next one where things start to speed up a little bit more.